Welcome to the Diversity Scholarships Foundation's Profiles in the Law. As I've mentioned before, this is a series of conversations that we are having with prominent members of the legal profession here in Chicago and in Cook County. And today we have the great pleasure of having the president of the Hispanic Lawyers Association of Illinois, Cindy Cervantes. Cindy, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jesse Reyes.
Yeah.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah. Well, before we talk about HLAI, which is what the Hispanic Lawyers Association of Illinois is referred to, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes. So, named Cindy Medina-Cervantes. I was actually born in Michoacan, Mexico. I was brought to the United States when I was about 2 years old. Actually, my parents moved to California. That's where my father and my mother and all my sisters reside. So I grew up there in California, a very small town called Copperopolis, California. Grew up in a very traditional Mexican home. And, I ended up learning English around the age of 8. My parents always instilled in me, how you have to make sure you get an education. So up until I was in high school, I decided that I wanted to go to Washington, D.C. So I went to the George Washington University to complete my studies, my bachelor's degree. And afterwards, I was there for about another 2 more years and decided to go to law school and ended up here in Chicago and attended the DePaul University College of Law.
So your parents instilled in you the belief that you needed to get an education?
Yes, always. So I'm actually first in my family, like many of us, I'm the first in my family to go to college and attend law school as well. And my parents did everything in their power to make sure that that I would do that.
That's excellent. So you are truly a first generation.
Yes, I am.
Yes. All right. And so you went to Washington from California, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so how did you decide to come to Chicago?
So after undergrad, I always wanted to pursue a degree in the law. It's just I didn't know how to go about it, especially because like I mentioned, I didn't have any lawyers in my family. Mm-hmm. So what I did is I started working at a law firm, and I also started talking to attorneys. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, I started looking at different schools, and I came here to Chicago, fell in love with it. I loved how diverse it was, and ended up applying here.
Oh, great. Fantastic. And so how'd you start off in your legal profession once you graduated from law school? What did you do?
So after law school, I had the privilege to work with a judge, a circuit court judge, Ronald Barkowitz. He's in the law division. I honestly, till this day, I always tell people that it's probably one of the best jobs that I've ever had. Uh-huh. I had a great mentor, and I was really able to dive into the law and just get a better understanding, especially as a baby lawyer, So sure. I did that. I did a clerkship for 2 years before going into private practice.
Yeah. Well, they say in the legal profession the best job is to be a judge, and the second best job is to be the law clerk of the judge. So you had that opportunity to experience
Yes,
that.
I did.
So explain to our viewers a little bit of what type of cases did the judge hear, and what did you do as a law clerk?
Yes, so as a law clerk, I started off, I would sit in his court call, I would monitor the proceedings, assist him with any of the decisions, so I would help him do a lot of the research, I would help manage the externs that we had, because aside from me being there as his law clerk, we also had externs, so law students that would come in and we would be having during the semester or even over the summer, and they would help us with research projects and resolving some motions that we had to rule on. So I managed his calendar call, I did research, managed the externs, and also helped him write decisions and orders.
So you were already a practicing lawyer in terms of being licensed already when you started working with the judge?
Yeah, well, when I got hired on, I was still waiting for my bar results, but thankfully I passed, and yes, I was there as an attorney.
Okay, did you do any type of work prior to working as a law clerk? Did you work as an extern or do anything like that during law school?
I didn't, but I always tell law students that I see so much value in doing that. So I always, now when I go back and speak to other law students, I say, I would definitely recommend that if you have the opportunity to do so, to pursue an externship and even a clerkship if that's possible after
Sure.
you graduate, because it really helps you in your development as an attorney.
Right. And there are a lot of externships available through various organizations, and some of them are paid and some of them are not. For example, I know there is one in the summertime through the American Bar Association. It's called the Judicial Intern Opportunity Program, and the students are paid a stipend to work with the judges, and it's through the American Bar Association. So those of you who are watching this program and are interested in those type of programs, look on the websites, particularly like the American Bar Association, some of the other associations, that those opportunities are available. And as Ms. Cervantes mentioned, they're invaluable experiences for young people that are going through law school.
Yeah, they sure are.
Yeah. And so after working with Judge Barkowitz, I'm sure he was very sorry to see you go, because from my understanding, you were an excellent law clerk, as he tells me. And so what did you do then?
So after that, and I don't think I clarified, so in his court, we mainly manage like medical malpractice or other tort-related matters there. So that's kind of where I got my interest in medical malpractice. So I ended up going to a boutique firm, doing medical malpractice. I did that for 2 years. And once the pandemic hit, I ended up shifting over to products liability. So I'm still in the area of tort litigation.
Okay. And then what law firm are you working at right now?
I am currently at Clyde & Co., so it's a UK-based firm, and I work in their Chicago office.
Oh, nice. Okay. And so you also been very active outside of the legal profession in terms of helping out various communities and the Latino communities. So can you tell us some of the organizations you've been involved with throughout the years?
Yes, so I love volunteering with Instituto del Progreso Latino.
Okay.
They do their monthly citizenship workshop, so I love volunteering there. I've also worked with NIJC. I've handled...
And what does that stand for?
The National Institute of
Judicial College.
Yes.
Okay.
And so with them, I've done some pro bono work related to asylum cases. Aside from that, I've done some other work through HLAI, actually, some of the pro bono work that we've been able to do there, including some of the asylum clinics that they did last year.
Okay. So, being new to this country, I'm sure you came across some obstacles and some difficulties, and one, like, as you mentioned, it was learning the English language. And so, can you relate to our younger viewers some of the difficulties maybe that you encountered and were able to overcome and to be where you're at today?
Yeah. So I think. Again, like I said, I come from very humble beginnings. My dad was a farm worker. Since early on in my career, when I was growing up, I didn't learn English because I was initially in a bilingual program. So my first language was Spanish. Later on, my dad moved us into that small town called Copperopolis. I was the only Latina there.
Okay.
After that, up until high school, I grew up in a predominantly Caucasian neighborhood. So I think that was one of the challenges for me. Was a lot of times I felt like I didn't fit in. But I do think that it was through the help of people, kind of like my godmother, who actually was hired to teach me English there, that kept pushing me to seek that higher education. But initially, I think it was trying to find myself and see, and my identity. But it was like people like my godmother who helped me, get to where I am and lend me a hand to even apply for college.
Right. And which could be sometimes a daunting experience, right?
Yeah, right. It really is.
Yeah. And so how did you like college in Washington?
I loved it. I remember it was very eye-opening because I came from a very, very small town, and going to DC just gave me a different various perspectives. I was able to meet people from across the world, and it just really broadened the possibilities of things that I could accomplish. So I loved it. And so fun fact though, which is very bizarre, the way that I picked that school was the old ways, because we didn't really have a computer at my house. So I bought one of those college books, and I just read through what are some of the best colleges in the country, and that's how I found the school. And I didn't actually visit the college before I accepted it.
Oh, okay. Which sometimes could be detrimental.
Yes, yes.
Particularly for those of you who are looking at colleges now, you definitely want to make sure that
Yes.
you go to the cafeteria and find out what kind of food they have there, because you're going to be eating that for a long period of time. So you want to make sure that it's right. It's a good place where they have good food. Yeah. So, so did you get to see the DC workings? Did you ever get to go to the Capitol or anything like that? Oh,
yes,
yeah?
I got to go. Actually, when President Obama was inaugurated, I was there, so I got to experience that.
Nice.
I got to visit the White House on a White House tour. I got to see all the museums, which I definitely recommend for anybody visiting DC. I love that they're free, and you just learn. There's so much history, there to learn. So got to do all that stuff.
Good. Well, and it's a great experience, and I'm glad you had that opportunity, because I know sometimes individuals feel a little reluctant to travel outside of their area in terms of when they're going to to school. They don't want to go, but you basically went from one end of the country to the other.
I did,
and enjoyed the experience, which I thought was very good. Yeah,
I did. I think it was an intimidating experience initially because I left. So my parents, because of the financial hardships that they had, they weren't able to move me in. So they actually they gave me a luggage, and they just kind of shipped me over to DC. So I sometimes when I look back, I'm like, wow, I can't believe I did that, you know? So, but for everybody watching out there, like, don't be afraid, be okay with taking the risk of doing things like that, because you will find people along the way that are going to be there to help you, and you won't be alone.
And then you took the trip to be in the midway, halfway in between the coasts, to be here now in Chicago. And so you are also very involved in the Hispanic Lawyers Association of Illinois. And so can you tell our viewers a little bit about the Hispanic Lawyers Association of Illinois?
Yes, so HLAI is a non-for-profit organization. We've been around since 1995. We primarily serve the Hispanic legal community, and we really strive to not only help those young attorneys and older attorneys as well, but we're also here to support our incoming, leaders as well. People that want to attend law school, that are also first generation, or not even, or second, or whatever you might be, but we're here to provide whatever resources we can to help them and empower them.
Yeah. And does HLAI have a website?
We do.
Can you mention what the website is?
Yes, it's HLAI.org.
Okay. And so if they go on the website, they're going to see a variety of different entities, like the mentors, and then charities, and the Hispanic Law School Foundation. So can you explain a little bit to viewers that want to go on the website what they're going to see?
Yes, so if you go on our website, you'll see that we do put forward different programming throughout the year. And aside from that, like just as Reyes was mentioning, we do have HLAI Charities, which is our charitable sister organization, which fundraises money for students that want to continue on with their legal career. So we're here to just actually like DSF, Diversity Scholarship Foundation. So we do give out scholarships to students. Aside from that, we also have a mentorship program, so the JD Mentors program, which is not just open for law students, it's also open to any student that wants to pursue a career in this field. And then, like I mentioned, we have subcommittees that put forward events. We do networking events. We do also holiday parties. We do judges events, and we also have panels as well that touch upon different subjects.
Continuing legal education.
Yes, correct.
Okay. And so you're the current president?
Yes.
All right. And so what plans or initiatives do you have that maybe you've already done and that you're working for the future?
So one of my biggest passions, even though I'm in private practice, I really love giving back to the community. It's always been instilled in me that, if you're in a position where you are, you should always give back. So one of my initiatives is to work with other community leaders here in the Chicago area and outside as well to see what we can do to provide support.
Mm-hmm.
So we have been partnering up with some of the local organizations such as Instituto de Progreso Latino and Pilsen Neighbors to put forward more of those type of events that can serve the community.
Okay. All right. And I know that because I had the opportunity to meet your father, I know your parents are very proud of you. They were at the installation when you got sworn in as president of HLAI. So does your father still live out in California, or is
Yes, all my family actually still lives in California. My dad, his dream was always to become an attorney. Fortunately, because he had to provide for his family, he wasn't able to. So I think he's been. I think he's very proud of what I've accomplished, but I always keep in mind that I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for their sacrifices that they did. But
yeah, that's very nice. Yeah. So you mentioned the DSF, and it's my understanding that you are a former scholarship recipient.
Yes, I am.
Yes. All right. So could you tell our viewers a little bit about what that meant to you, and the process and everything else in case somebody's interested in applying?
Yes, so I was one of the recipients in 2015, so that would have been around my sophomore year, or my second year, I should say, of law school. I am so happy I got that scholarship. It was my first scholarship that I got during law school, and I just felt very blessed because at the time I wasn't working, so I didn't have a lot of income coming in, and it just really helped me feel at ease and be able to seek out some of those opportunities such as the externships. While I didn't do an externship, I was able to do some of that volunteer work and get some legal experience without having to worry about the money.
Right. Yeah. No, that's and we're very proud of you because now you've gone on to be a prominent lawyer in the legal profession, and so this is what we're always striving to do, is make sure that we provide opportunities for those young people that want to fulfill their dreams of becoming lawyers, maybe judges one day. So we're very glad to have been able to provide you with that opportunity.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. And I'm very happy that you continue to do so. So thank you.
No, it's our pleasure. And for those of you that are interested, you can go on our website, dsfchicago.org, and see the various scholarships that we do provide. And we offer several scholarships, particularly those who want to take the what's known as the law students test for admission into law schools. We provide that. We provide scholarships for that, and then a number of other scholarships pertaining to public interest, students with disabilities, leaders and achievers, and a variety of other different type of scholarships. So if anybody who is interested in going to, that is in law school and is interested in applying for scholarships, please go on to our website and fill out the applications. We usually always give those at the end of the year, and we like to give away money. So please do apply. For those that may not be too familiar with products liability, can you explain what products liability is, and in terms of lawsuits that are filed in that area?
Yeah, so sometimes with products liability, you'll deal with class actions. I don't have to deal with those. Mine are just one plaintiff at a time. I do a lot of asbestos litigation. So under those circumstances is you have a lot of individuals that have been exposed to a product that may have contained a product or maybe a service. In some instances, it would be like a contractor that would have been using some sort of asbestos product, and that now that has caused a harm, and now perhaps they're suffering from mesothelioma or lung cancer, and now they're seeking compensation. The thing about this type of law is that the harm a lot of times is not seen till much years later.
Right.
So that disease will take years to form. And in terms of what I do on the defense side is I do a lot of depositions. I go to court. I do a lot of analysis in terms of the case, so reviewing medical records, identifying experts, consulting with experts, taking depositions of experts. So, the typical litigation work that you would find.
Sure. Okay. And so you've been there for a while now. It's a firm, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay. And so what are, if you don't mind us asking, what are some of your future goals and initiatives, whether through HLAI or your own personal goals?
Personal goals. So I definitely want to continue giving back to the community after I'm done with my role in HLAI. So I would love to continue being involved through other organizations. In terms of my own professional development, I would love to it wasn't something that I really thought about until recently, but I would like to do more trial work and also perhaps one day become a partner. Mm-hmm. And the only reason I say this is because there isn't a lot of us in this area field, not only like women, but like Latina women. Mm-hmm. And I do think we should try to put ourselves in these roles so we can also bring others and expose others to these types of roles and these positions, because I think we should diversify. Right.
No, that's definitely true, and I agree with you. I mean, we need to bring up the next generation.
Yes.
There's a lot of people out there that want to be where we're at today.
Yes.
And so we're both fortunate to be where we're at today. But I agree with you wholeheartedly that I think it's a responsibility and an obligation that we all have to help the next generation.
Absolutely.
To keep it moving forward. And regardless of what your background is, I think you're absolutely correct. I think particularly as judges and lawyers, we're public servants. Mm-hmm. And I think part of our responsibility is to make sure that we help others to be where, we're at today.
We need to uplift others. And one thing that I've always kept close to heart is never forget where you came from. Always stay true to your roots.
Sure.
And I think that's what's helped me push forward. Where do you come from?
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
Then you can keep pushing up and bring others with you as well.
Right. Now, you mentioned also that you do work with the Instituto. So can you explain to our viewers what type of work, because they do some very important work.
Yes, they do.
Can you explain
what
they do?
Well, my understanding, in terms of what I do with the Instituto de Progreso Latino, has to do more with the legal side, but they do so much. They do so much for the community. I've seen them even do food drives, code drives. I know they have a school as well for people that want to further their education and perhaps didn't finish. And they just do so much. But in terms of the legal aspect that I am involved in, I've been helping them with some of their more immigration-related cases. Mm-hmm. And like I mentioned, they host these monthly citizenship workshops. So anybody that's interested in becoming a citizen, they do this the legal screenings, and they will have attorneys on site that will help you go through the process and complete that application for you. So I've been doing some of those legal screenings, and I always meet great people. This is one of the reasons why I love doing it, because I love meeting people and just talking to them and getting to know them, and it's great.
Yeah, good. And so if anybody was interested in inquiring or finding out if maybe they fit into the Institute's program, how would they do that?
Oh, they can do it on their website. And in fact, you don't have to, if you want to volunteer for some of these clinics, and they do other clinics as well, not just the citizenship workshops, but they do have a volunteer page. Or if you're interested in learning more about their school or any of the drives or other initiatives that they do, everything should be on their website. And they're always looking for volunteers as well.
And they also help people learn English, right?
Yes, they do. Yes, and if they can't help you, they will give you a list of resources and direct you to someone that can.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
It's been a pleasure to have HLAI President Cindy Medina-Cervantes here with us today. And again, as I've mentioned before, it's always a pleasure to have prominent members of the legal profession with us. And as today with Ms. Cervantes. And this was Diversity Scholarship Foundation's Profiles in the Law. Your host, Jesse Reyes, President of the organization and Illinois Appellate Court Justice. And thank you for watching us.